You know that feeling. You want to stay plugged in, really get what's new and something you love, but honestly, the sheer amount of info out there, it can feel overwhelming, right? Like less like a curated experience, more like trying to drink from a fire hose.
Exactly. So think of this as your highlight reel. We've just come back from High End Munich 2025, the big one for high-fidelity audio. And instead of just dumping everything on you, we pulled out the really interesting, the significant stuff.
Yeah, the essentials. High End Munich, I mean, it's huge. Over 500 exhibitors, maybe 1,000 brands from like 40 plus countries. It's the global meeting point for audio.
And this year was a bit poignant too. The last time in Munich before it heads off to Vienna next year, a real end of an era feel.
Okay, so our mission here basically is to unpack the product launches and trends that actually matter, the things that made us sit up and take notice without you having to wade through spec sheets for hours.
And we're starting with a bang, a real statement piece from Burmester. They basically showed up declaring an audiophile war with a completely new reference line.
Okay, Burmester Reference Line. That name alone carries weight. And the new gear. The 249 preamp, the 259 power amp, and this is interesting, the 257 turntable, all completely new designs.
Yeah, that's the key, not just refreshes, ground-up engineering. And Burmester, it's always this blend of obsessive precision and, well, a pretty bold look.
Right. That 249 preamp, they talk about obsessive precision and unapologetic flexibility, and that mirrored front panel. It's definitely a look.
It makes a statement for sure. And behind that mirror, you've got optional streaming and DAC modules. And they're not messing around with the DCC supposed to be a top-tier chip in there.
Plus, you can add phono or line modules so you can really tailor it.
Exactly. Customize it to your system.
Yeah.
And naturally, an external power supply. That's almost a given at this level, right? Keep the noisy bits away.
Yeah, absolutely. It's that modular thing, too, suggests you can kind of future-proof it a bit.
Precisely, which is smart. Then you get to the 259 power amplifier. Forget subtle. This thing is about massive power reserves.
How massive are we talking?
We're talking 500 watts per channel into 4 ohms stereo. Or get this, 1,500 watts as a monoblock.
Whoa, okay. That's substantial. And they mention a surgical bass control. That sounds promising. Not just power, but finesse.
Right. And interestingly, passive cooling, so silent operation. No fan noise interfering when things get quiet.
Nice touch. You don't want amplifier hum during a quiet passage.
Definitely not. Fully balanced design, low noise, wide dynamic range. It's built to handle tough speaker loads without breaking a sweat. And little details, like a hidden power button and some kind of clever power regulation for instant optimal performance.
Instant on, basically. No warm-up needed.
Seems like it. Just pure power, ready to go. Stereo or mono operation too. Versatile.
Okay, but the turntable, the 257, that feels like a bold move in 2025. They call it a mechanical love letter to analog purity with digital precision. Quite the description.
It is. And the tech sounds serious. They've got this optical speed control, OSC, and innovative motor suspension, IMS.
So OSC for super accurate speed, IMS to stop motor vibration getting to the stylus.
Pretty much. Keep everything stable and precise. Simple 2-button speed control, which is nice and clean. And an optional balanced phono output module for the purists.
And the mechanics sound insane. Inverted magnetic bearings, ceramic shaft, sintered bronze liner. Sounds like watchmaking.
It's that level of detail, yeah. 2 high-torque motors, constantly checked by an optical sensor. It's serious overkill in the best possible way.
And a really thick platter, too. Layered plastic and steel.
50 millimeter thick, yeah. All about stability and killing resonance. It just shows how much engineering can still go into spinning a record properly.
Right. So this amazing kit, I'm almost afraid to ask, what's the entry price for this reference line?
Deep breaths. Starts around $200,000 US.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah. There's a quote going around, something like, silence between notes should cost more than a house.
I guess they took that literally. Wallet obliterating with Teutonic precision sounds about right.
Pretty much. Available second half of 2025 if you're rearranging your finances.
Right.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll just admire from afar. Okay, let's shift gears. From the absolute peak, maybe something slightly more attainable. Cyrus Audio. They've got a new 80 series.
Yeah, this is interesting because Cyrus is known for that half-width shoebox design, right?
Exactly. Very distinctive.
But the 80 series is full width. It's a big step for them, a real evolution. They are keeping some design cues from the 40 series, so it won't look totally alien to Cyrus fans.
And when can we expect these?
Looks like around November 2025.
Okay, so what's in the 80 series lineup?
3 main units. There's the 80 AMP, that's a streaming integrated amplifier.
Yeah.
Then the 80 PRE, a streaming preamp. and the 80 PWR, which is a bridgeable power amp.
The 80 AMP sounds like the heart of a system, streaming integrated. Blue S, you said.
Yep, integrated Blue OS platform, which is huge, plus 150 watts per channel, Class AB. They're positioning it as their flagship integrated, their most capable one yet.
Blue OS is solid, lots of features there, so that makes sense as a flagship move. What about the 80 PRE for Separate's fans?
Right. So if you want a pre-power setup, the 80 PRE is their high-end offering. Also has Blue OS, but adds a premium MMMC phono stage. Good news for vinyl folks.
Yeah.
And a dedicated headphone amp. Looks like a really flexible hub.
Nice. And the 8 PWR, the power amp.
That delivers 200 watts per channel, Class AB again. But the key thing is it's bridgeable. You can switch it to mono and get 300 watts.
Ah, okay. So serious power if you need it for demanding speakers or just want that headroom.
Exactly. Gives you options for bigger systems or speakers that need a lot of current. Seems like Cyrus is really broadening their appeal with this full-width move.
Makes sense. Okay, from amplification to, well, moving serious air.
Yeah.
DALI. The Danish speaker folks, they've got a new subwoofer, the V-16 F. Sounds like a beast.
Oh, it is. This is their top dog subwoofer, designed specifically to partner with their flagship Korai and Epicor speakers.
So flagship sub for flagship speakers, what are we looking at?
A massive 16-inch driver, plus or minus 16 millimeters of linear travel. That's a lot of movement. It's at a big 90-liter cabinet and driven by a 1,500-watt Class D amp.
1,500 watts. With peaks up to...
Just a 500 watts peak. Yeah, it's got power.
Wow. And they're claiming bass down to 19 hertz in room. That's deep.
Seriously deep. But they're stressing it's not just about depth. Low distortion, low group delay. The aim is tight, fast, accurate bass. Not just a muddy boom.
Right. You want definition, not just rumble. How are they managing that in different rooms?
It's got 4 tuned reflex ports and some serious DSP tools on board. Things like room mode attenuation, constant group delay, basically tools to help integrate it properly and tame room issues.
Should play nice with the main speakers, not swamp the mid-range or anything.
That's the goal. Clean, fast, deep bass that adds foundation without messing up the rest of the music. They even have some special tech in the driver surround, CSS constant surface surround, to reduce distortion.
Sounds like they've thought it through. Key specs again.
Okay. 16-inch driver, 1,500 watts, down 19 hertz, 4 ports, 90-liter box, and it weighs over 53 kilos. It's substantial.
Definitely a two-person lift. And they mentioned new finishes for the main speakers, too.
Yeah, new high gloss for Cara and an all-white Epicor. Kind of the aesthetic side of things.
The Pantone edition update, maybe? But the V16F is the real news there. A proper bass cannon, but hopefully with precision. When's it due?
Expected around July 2025. European price is out, but we'll see what it translates to elsewhere.
Okay. Let's shift focus slightly. Less about generating sound, more about controlling vibration, isoacoustics.
Right. These guys are all about isolation, stopping vibrations from your speakers messing with the sound, or vibrations from the floor getting into your components.
And they've got new feet, GAIA Neo and GIIA Titan Neo.
Yep, debuted at the show. The Neo seems to be about improvements in usability and looks. They've got seamless height adjustment now, which sounds much easier.
Oh, good. Leveling speakers with fiddly lock nuts can be a pain.
Exactly. No lock nuts needed here, apparently.
Yeah.
Simpler install, cleaner look. And they're including the 3 most common thread sizes in the box, which is handy.
That is helpful. Makes it easier to fit them to different speakers.
Definitely. There's also an integrated O-ring for a tighter fit, and they've got optional floor sliders coming, too, to help move heavy speakers once the Neos are on.
That's smart. Sliding a big speaker with isolation feet can be tricky.
For sure. And Isoacoustics works with a lot of speaker brands directly now, like Sonos, Faber, Martin. So you might see these Neo isolators built into some high-end speakers soon.
When can we get these Neo feet?
They're aiming for Q3 2025. Pricing is still TBD, though.
Okay. Something to look out for if you're into tweaking your system's foundations. Now, let's talk digital streaming. Big news from Qobuz.
Yes. Qobuz Connect is finally official. This has been on a lot of wish lists for a while.
So explain Qobuz Connect. It's like Spotify Connect or Tidal Connect, but for Qobuz.
Pretty much, yeah. It lets you stream directly from the Qobuz app on your phone or tablet, straight to your compatible hi-fi gear. No need for AirPlay, Chromecast, or clunky third-party apps.
Ah, so the streaming happens on the hi-fi device itself, not on your phone.
Exactly. You use the Qobuz app as the remote control, pick your high-res tracks. They've got over 100 million now hit play. And the streamer, or amp, takes over the connection to Qobuz directly.
Which should mean better sound quality, potentially, and less battery drain on your phone, and presumably more stable playback?
That's the idea. Uninterrupted playback, full access to the high-res library. It's a much more seamless experience than, say, Bluetooth.
And who's supporting it? Is the list of compatible gear any good?
It's actually really good already. Over 40 brands, including big names like Arcam, Audiolab, DCS, Dinan, Dynaudio, Eversolo, Focal, Lumen, Luxman Marantz, Macintosh, Name, Rose, Rotel, Wiem. Lots of Hios devices from Dinan and Marantz, too.
Wow, okay. That's a strong start. So if you have compatible gear and a Qobuz subscription,
you'll need a Studio or Sublime subscription, and then it'll likely roll out via firmware updates to the compatible devices. It's a big step up for Qobuz users.
Definitely sounds like it. Okay, let's swing back to the analog world for a moment. Nagaoka, 85th anniversary.
Yeah, impressive milestone. And they've marked it with a new flagship cartridge, the MP-700. It's a moving-permalloy design.
Moving-permalloy. That's less common than moving magnet or moving coil, right? What's the idea?
The core idea is lower moving mass. Instead of magnets or coils moving with the stylus, it's a tiny piece of permalloy. The theory is that less mass allows the stylus to trace the groove more accurately.
Okay. And what else makes the MP-700 special?
It's got a boron cantilever and a micro-ridge new diamond stylus. Both point towards really high detail retrieval. They also mention using their softest damper for better high-frequency tracking and an integrated suspension wire for stability.
Sounds like they're chasing maximum clarity and separation.
That seems to be the goal. Better treble, better separation, accurate bass.
Yeah.
The body is shielded too. Uses an ultra-duralumin frame with a special 3-layer coating to reduce static and improve durability.
High-end stuff. Specs look good too. Decent output, wide frequency response, good separation. Any idea on cost?
Yep, they announced suggested retail prices for the cartridge itself, one with a head shell and the replacement stylus. Definitely flagship territory pricing.
Okay, so a lot of big launches. Anything else catch your eye, maybe just briefly?
Yeah, a few quick hits. Griffin Audio had their Antillean Revelation Class A power amp, celebrating 30 years of the Antillean and 40 years of Griffin. Huge power, pure Class A.
Always impressive stuff from Griffin.
Genelec showed the 8381A active studio monitor, 5-way design with this wild quad mid-range system, aimed at ultimate accuracy, really.
Pro audio gear often pushes boundaries.
Definitely. iFi Audio has some cool portable things, the UP Travel Bluetooth DA and the GoPod Air, which turns your fancy IEMs wireless.
Ah, interesting for headphone users on the go.
Meze Audio teased their 105 SILVA headphones. Open back, cool mid-century look, 50mm drivers, said to be warm but detailed.
Meze always has great design. And Technics.
Technics was celebrating their 60th anniversary. Didn't see a specific massive product launch tied only to that in the sources we looked at, but definitely a big milestone for them.
Wow, 60 years. So looking across all this, any big picture trends you notice?
One thing that stood out, maybe, is this continued push towards really capable, compact, all-in-one systems.
Yeah, like the Cyrus 80 AMP, maybe?
Exactly. Systems that are user-friendly, don't take up tons of space, but still deliver genuinely high-end audiophile sound, making that level of performance a bit more accessible, perhaps, without needing racks full of separates.
That makes sense. People want great sound without the complexity sometimes. So High End Munich 2025, the last one there, sounds like it was packed with innovation.
Absolutely. From, the wallet-destroying peaks of Burmester down to clever cartridges and user-friendly streaming solutions. The passion for music, as they say, is clearly still driving things forward.
And hopefully this deep dive gave you a good shortcut to the highlights, the stuff that really signals where things might be heading.
Yeah, a curated look at the tech and the trends that caught our eye.
So here's something to think about as we wrap up. With all this incredible technology aimed at getting closer to perfect sound, what does perfect listening actually mean to you? Is it about accuracy, emotion, immersion? And how might some of these new bits of gear we talked about today help you get a step closer to your own personal audio nirvana?
Good question. Definitely worth pondering which of these innovations resonated most with what you value in your listening experience.
Food for thought. Definitely explore anything that piqued your interest further. Until next time, keep listening.